This guide's a little late, which I'm sure you all noticed. So here's the thing, Ayla is supposed to be free, so I didn't want to summon for her, and I just unlocked her. Yeah, today, definitely not 10 days ago when the month reset. So no questions, here's the guide. Also, the devs weren't hyped for Ayla apparently, so we got beat her about 2 weeks late. And at that point I decided, you know what, I'll just wait till I unlock her on my main account. But I did do some testing in beta, and I did go all the way up to SSS as we usually do, full 8k BP. So I'll tell you guys what I think in terms of Ayla's rank and where you should leave her. In terms of the amplifier class, there are only 3 currently. Liv is by far the best, without a doubt. Liv was not free, so it's understandable that she was the best one. And then both Ayla and Selena are free. Selena's grind is arguably just as bad, but in a different way to Ayla's. If you're wondering how to unlock Ayla, let's go to the dorm quickly. It is not a fun time. You'll notice this new one down here, commissions, where chores used to be. So you click on commissions, hell yeah, level 5, and now we've got all this unlocked. So basically, this is where you can keep track of upgrading, of doing more missions and getting them done quicker. As you can see, I don't have any missions right now because I've finished them all, and you can send your teams out and all sorts of things. And this little thing here in the shop, this is where you come and you can get your shards. So that's pretty much it. You can buy these weapon coding blueprints. I would recommend against it because from the future onwards, this is where you'll get your free characters. So you can also buy a few other resources, but again, I really don't recommend buying anything except for these. If you miss some of these and you want some of the dorm characters, then yeah, sure, grab them. But I really can't recommend other than just buying the character shards. That's pretty much the only thing you want to buy here. And then if somehow you have enough spare, then maybe you can look at this. But again, you probably want to pre-save for the next character that's going to be free, so you can just get them as close to day 1 as possible. Ayla is going to replace Wanshi, where Wanshi used to be an ice team, and that is pretty much the only upgrade. In terms of power and everything, Ayla's maybe slightly better than Plume in terms of damage, but they're around the same level. The main upgrade came from, which you can see on my beta testing if you want a thorough in-depth look at that. There's, over on my Twitch, a whole hour worth of testing. Basically, the long and the short is, Wanshi deals no damage, Ayla deals damage. Huge upgrade for Ice Team as a total. Let's go over Ayla's gameplay. So to start with, we have this little bar down here. This is going to be a color, and this is going to be whatever you use as a 3-ping. All you need to do is hold attack, and you can see that that now gets stored. So there's 2 buffs you can get from this. There's one where you can see how this is yellow, so I need to do a yellow 3-ping, and then that will match, and once I hold attack, that will store that and I will get 1 buff, and the other one is from using a different colored ping. So if I do a blue, for example, and then I hold attack, and you'll get a different buff. Now this is pretty much like Lee, and where you want to stack this 3 times, so that's a total of 9 orbs for 3 3-pings. And depending on Ayla's rank, she will actually come in with 1 or 2 of these. Again, depending on her rank, whether she's like SS or SS+, whatever it is. Now that I have 3, what you want to do is press your ultimate, and then while you have your ultimate, you need to make sure that you have a total of 5 3-pings. And like Lee, you'll see when I do a 3-ping, one of these will disappear, and we will get that one back as 3-ping orbs. So you can see the amount of orbs I have here. There's another one, and we get them back again, and another one. So again, you need 5 3-pings to fill this gauge. So in the meantime, I guess if you're in training, you can draw lots of pretty things, like, you know... Yeah, first try. Anyway, once you've filled up with 5 3-pings, now that this bar is full, then you can ult. Now, a little note, if you have SS3 Ayla, she will actually get both buffs, and you won't need to worry about what's going on here. In general, you're not really going to notice the difference, so I wouldn't worry about it anyway. And the other thing to note is if you don't have 2 3-pings saved and 3 down here, you're probably going to be short for your ult, so keep that in mind. Once you do ult, if you don't fill up the gauge, it will look like this if you finish your ult, and you'll actually get a different animation. Notice her face? So that's a cool little Easter egg. Now, I could go into the details a bit more about certain things in her kit, but in all honesty, it doesn't matter. A lot of Gen 2 is just focused on just do the rotation and it does what it's supposed to do. It takes out a lot of thinking and a lot of play out of the game. It's like just follow the basic rotation. That's all that matters for a lot of these characters. In terms of Ayla's rank, you can see how I've done my one up. This is where I felt it was reasonable to do based on the resources that I have. I can't really guide you based on your resources because we're at a point now where we're over 2 years into the game and everyone's accounts are so varied that I can't really say yes or no, do or don't do this. But you're just going to have to weigh up what resources you have. Is Ayla waifu? Is she not? And all those sorts of things, and make that decision on your own. I will say her 6-star weapon is a nice to have. You can see the 5-star increases damage by 10%. Over the 6-star, basically 10% and a lot more. So definitely the 6-star is a nice to have. If you're looking for resonance, then this is the one I've picked based on having one. As for Ayla's pet versus her weapon and which one you should get first if you're debating, the weapon seems to be better to me, but the pet is only going to have a 100% up rate once, so maybe prioritize that since the weapon banner is never 100% up rate. In terms of Ayla's rank, you can see mine isn't even at double S yet, so you can see we're still slowly working on that. As for her ranks, definitely SS is advised. I think it's a lot easier to play her, and it just makes her rotate a lot smoother. As for anything above that, SS3 is kinda a nice to have. It's really not worth wasting 15 BC to pull an extra version of her. If it's something you want to do over time and you're already spending and you're using the vouchers from the battle pass, sure, that might be a good idea. And triple S, I don't think is worth it at all, especially not after playing on beta. As I said before, I've tested this on beta and honestly there was no real difference in the damage that it did. Nothing notable, that's for sure. Anything above that would be SSS Plus, and testing at SSS Plus, she certainly did more damage. On beta account, we have Triple S Plus Plume, and we have Triple S Plus Ayla, and they both did basically the same amount of damage. So there you go, Ayla is equal to a Gen 1 attacker. You know who isn't?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So for me, I'm gonna say 5 or 6-star weapon, up to you, and if you can get her pet and you want it, go for it. Otherwise, leave her at SS. You can have her just at base S if you just want the free one and you don't want to spend money, but then at that point, you're going to go in with the 5-star weapon too. So if you want more guides, feel free to check out the others that I have. Otherwise, that's Ayla Guide over.